Good morning, all of you. Today we'll learn the characteristics of DC generators. So, all of us know that DC generators are classified as separately excited generators and self excited generators. In self excited generators, we have again three classifications. One is the shunt wound DC generators, series wound DC generators, and compound wound DC generators. And in compound wound DC generators, we have two classification. One is long shunt compound generator. Second one is the short shunt compound generators. So in the previous classes we have seen the expressions for voltage, what is the generated EMF, and how we will calculate the EMF generated in the different types of DC generators, like that. So now we will see the characteristics, that is how it behaves with respect to either field current changes or with respect to the generated EMF, with respect to the armature current, how the generator behaves, that we can study by means of the characteristics. So the speed of a DC machine operated as a generator is fixed by the prime mover. Okay, so for general purpose operation, the prime mover is equipped with a speed governor so that the speed of the generator is practically constant. Under such condition, the generator performance deals primarily with the relation between excitation, terminal voltage and load. These relations can be best exhibited graphically by means of curves known as the generator characteristics. So these characteristics show it gives the behavior of the generator under different loading conditions. For different load conditions, how the generator behaves, that is the change of the generated EMF, the change of armature current, like that we'll see. Generally the in DC characteristics, if you go, there are main three important characteristics of DC generators. One is open circuit characteristics, second one is the internal characteristics or total characteristics, third one is the external characteristics. So coming to open circuit characteristics, basically this curve shows the relation between the generated EMF at no load, and the field current at constant speed. That is, this is the curve which is showing the relation between the generated EMF at no load and the field current, that is IF, at constant speed. Okay, it is also known as the magnetic characteristics or no load saturation curve. And one more thing is, its shape is practically the same for all generators, whether it is separately or self excited. What is the data we need for drawing the OCC curve, or by doing the experiment, that is by operating the generator at no load and constant speed and recording the change in terminal voltage as the field current is varied. So how we will draw the open circuit characteristics? So first, how to collect the data in order to draw the OCC curve is, we will do the experiment. So what is the data we can gather from that experiment is, we will operate the generator at no load and constant speed and note down the change in terminal voltage if the field current is varied. So we have to note down the terminal voltage with respect to field current. What is the condition? The generator at no load and constant speed. So the curve between the field current and the generated voltage E0 in the armature on no load is called magnetic or open circuit characteristics of a DC generator. Okay, the plot of this curve is practically same for all the types of generators, whether they are that is separately excited or self excited. This curve is known as no load saturation characteristic curve of DC generator. the variation of generated EMF on no load with field current for different fixed speeds of the armature. That is, we can observe in this diagram for different speeds, that is N1, N2, N3. Okay, for higher values of constant speed, the steepness of the curve is more. That is, when the field current is zero, for the effect residual magnetism in the poles, there will be a small initial EMF. Here we have to observe the curve is not started from point O. It has started from point is somewhat in the no load voltage in the y-axis. We can see it is little bit upper, that is it is represented by A. So it has started from point A, the curve has started from point A. Why we are getting this difference is by the effect of residual magnetism in the poles, there will be a small initial EMF. Okay, so when we are studying these characteristics, different conditions we will take. Sorry. When the field current is zero, there is some generated EMF OA. This is due to the residual magnetism in the field poles. First point we have to take care that when the field current is zero, that is if we see in the diagram, if the field current is zero, there is some generated EMF OA. This is due to residual magnetism in the field poles. Next point, after some time or if we change the field current, then the curve is linear. Observe in the diagram, if we observe for one speed, that is for N1, observe after the starting point it is changing linearly. The curve is linear. It is because in this range reluctance of iron is negligible. That is very less. Reluctance of the iron is very less as compared with that of the air gap. And this air gap reluctance is constant, and hence we will get the linear relationship. So that's why we'll get a linear relationship. So after that arrow mark, that is increase in speed n, so it is now the reluctance of iron also comes into picture. So we have to consider the reluctance of iron also. Because at higher flux densities the reluctance of iron no longer negligible. That is considerable amount of reluctance we will get, so that we have to consider the reluctance of iron also. Okay, and the curve deviates from the linear relationship after this curve, and the magnetic saturation of poles begins, and E naught tends to comes to level of, that is it comes to a final point. So here we have observed 3 points. One is the curve does not start from O, because there is some generated EMF OA. This is due to residual magnetism in the field poles, and after as the field current goes on increasing, the curve is linear. It is because in this range reluctance of iron is negligible as compared to the air gap. So that under air gap the air gap reluctance is constant, and hence we will get linear relationship. And after point B, after that is a linear curve, we will get the reluctance of iron also comes into picture. so that we have to consider the reluctance of iron also, so that the curve deviates from the linear relationship, so that after this the magnetic saturation of poles begins, and this no load EMF comes to the final, that is level of point. Okay, this is about the characteristics of magnetic or open circuit characteristics of DC generator. Let us consider the separately excited DC generator giving its no load voltage E0 for a constant field current. If there is no armature reaction and armature voltage drop in the machine, then the voltage will remain constant. Therefore, we will plot the the rated voltage on the y-axis and load current on the x-axis. On the x-axis, then the curve will be a straight line and parallel to x-axis. Here AB line indicating the no load voltage E0, and when the generator is loaded, then the voltage drops due to two main reasons. One is due to armature reaction and one is due to ohmic drop. There are two main reasons when generator is loaded the voltage drops. What are those two reasons? Is armature reaction, second one is due to ohmic drop. Because of these two reasons we will get the voltage drop. Then this is about open circuit characteristics. The curve is drawn between field current and the generated voltage in the armature on no load, and initially it will not start from point O because of the residual magnetism. It will start from point A, and initially it is linear in nature. Afterwards it comes to some we can observe some steepness in the curve, and finally it comes to the poles comes to magnetic saturation and it level offs. Next one, if the generator is loaded, there is some voltage drop. This is mainly due to armature reaction drop. And next one, the ohmic drop, armature reaction drop and ohmic drop. Next, let us move to internal or total characteristics of separately excited DC generator. So internal characteristics generally it is the curve drawn between the terminal voltage V and load current IL. Okay, it is the curve drawn between the load current and the load current IL and the terminal voltage V. And next, the internal characteristics of the separately excited DC generator is obtained by subtracting the drops. That is, we will get the voltage drop due to armature reaction and some resistive drop. So, is obtained by subtracting the drops due to armature reaction from no load voltage. Drops due to armature reaction from no load voltage. This curve actually generated voltage will be slightly drooping in nature. We can observe in the diagram it is slightly drooping, and if you observe here AC line AC in the diagram indicating the actually generated voltage EG with respect to the load current. AC line is indicating the actually generated voltage EG with respect to the load current, and this curve is also called the total characteristics of separately excited generator. Internal or total characteristics of separately excited DC generator. We can observe clearly in this diagram. As the load current increases, the terminal voltage falls due to two reasons. The armature reaction weakens the main flux so that actual EMF generated E on load is less than that generated E naught on no load. And there is voltage drop across armature resistance, that is IARA, or we can call it as ILRA. And next one, the same graph we can draw the external characteristics also. So external characteristics, how we will get the external characteristics? The external characteristics of the separately excited DC generator is obtained by subtracting the drops due to ohmic loss in the armature from generated voltage EG. And we know the terminal voltage V equal to EG minus IA RA. And this curve gives the relation between the terminal voltage V and load current. And the external characteristics curve lies below the internal characteristics curve. The external characteristics curve always lies below the internal characteristics curve. Why we are getting this curve below this one? External characteristics curve lies below the internal characteristics curve. Here, if you observe, AD line in the diagram below is indicating the change in the terminal voltage V with increasing load current. In the figure, we can observe that when load current increases, then the terminal voltage decreases slightly. This decrease in terminal voltage can be this maintained easily by increasing the field current, and then we can increase the generated voltage so that we can get constant terminal voltage. So here AD line in the diagram, it is indicating the change in terminal voltage with increasing load current. And the load, when load current increases, then the terminal voltage decreases slightly. And because of this decrease in terminal voltage, it can be maintained easily by increasing the field current and thereby increasing the generated voltage, so that we can get a constant terminal voltage. And one more thing, separately excited DC generators have many advantages over self-excited DC generators. It can operate in stable condition with any field excitation, and we can get a wide range of output voltage. That is the main advantage of separately excited DC generator, because we can get a stable condition, that is we can get constant speeds like that with any field excitation, and gives a number of wide range of output voltage. And only the drawback, or disadvantage with these kinds of generator is that it is very expensive, because we have to provide a separate excitation system or source. So that is only the disadvantage with this DC generator. So we have seen the separately excited DC generator characteristics. We have studied three characteristics, that is open circuit characteristics. Next one, internal or total characteristics. Afterwards, we have seen the external characteristics of separately excited DC generator. And next one, we will see the characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. Characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. Okay, in shunt wound DC generator, if you observe the diagram, how we will connect this shunt wound generator, we can observe, that is the shunt field winding is connected in parallel with the armature. it is connected in parallel with the armature. Okay, and if we consider the shunt generator, that is, if the generator is running at a constant speed, let us take some EMF will be generated due to residual magnetism in the poles, and this small EMF circulates a field current, which in turn produces additional flux to reinforce the original residual flux. So this process continues, and the generator builds up the normal generated voltage following the OCC. Okay, here and we will see in the DC shunt generator, these type of generators, the armature current IA divides into two parts. One part is the shunt field current ISH, flows through shunt field winding, and the other part is the load current IL, goes through the external load. This is the basic thing we can see. Next one, magnetic or open circuit characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. This curve we can draw. The curve is drawn between shunt field current ISH and the no load voltage E0. Shunt field current ISH and the no load voltage E0. And for a given excitation current or field current, the EMF generated at no load E0 varies in proportional with the rotational speed of the armature. That is, for a given excitation current, or we can call it as field current, the EMF generated at no load, that is E0, varies in proportionally with the rotational speed of the armature. And in this figure, the magnetic characteristic curve for various speeds are drawn here. We can observe here. Okay, next one, due to residual magnetism, the curve starts from point A, slightly above from the origin O, and the upper portion of the curves are bent due to saturation. And next one, the external load resistance of the machine needs to be always maintained greater than its critical value. Otherwise, what happens is the machine will not excite, or if it is already running, it will automatically stops. Once again I am repeating, the upper portions of the curves are bent due to saturation. Okay, the external load resistance of the machine needs to be maintained greater than its critical value. Otherwise, what happens, the machine will not excite, or will stop. If already it is running, it will stop. And if you observe in the diagram, AB, AC and AD are the slopes which will give critical resistances at different speeds N1, N2 and N3. What is this critical field resistance? So this is the minimum external load resistance which is required to excite the shunt wound generator. This is critical field resistance, that is the minimum external load resistance which is required to excite the shunt wound generator. So what we have to do, the external load resistance of the machine needs to be maintained always greater than its critical value. Otherwise, the machine will not excite, or it will stop already if it is running. And critical field resistance is the minimum external load resistance that is required to excite the shunt wound generator. Okay, these are the characteristics of open circuit, magnetic or open circuit characteristics of DC shunt wound generator. Okay, next one, internal characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. Internal characteristics of shunt wound. The internal characteristics curve represents the relation between the generated voltage EG and the load current IL. Load current IL. And when the generator is loaded, then the generated voltage is decreased due to armature reaction. So generated voltage will be lower than the EMF generated at no load. Here in this diagram, AD curve is showing no load voltage curve, and AB is the internal characteristics curve. Okay, so internal characteristics curve represents the relation between the generated voltage EG and load current, and when the generator is loaded, the generated voltage decrease due to armature reaction, or we can get the lesser value because of the resistance. So generated voltage will be lower than the EMF generated at no load. So in this figure, AD is representing the no load voltage curve and AB is the internal characteristics curve. And next one, external characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. So external characteristics, that is the variation of terminal voltage with the load current. The variation of terminal voltage with the load current. And in this diagram, AC curve is showing the external characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. And ohmic drop due to armature resistance gives lesser terminal voltage than the generated voltage, so that the curve always lies below the internal characteristics curve. If we observe in this diagram, the external characteristics always below the internal characteristics. The reason is because of the ohmic drop due to armature resistance gives lesser terminal voltage than the generated voltage, so that the curve always lies below the internal characteristics curve. And we know the terminal voltage for a DC shunt generator is V is equal to EZ minus IA RA. Okay, and we can armature current is again divided into shunt current and load current. Shunt current and load current. Armature current is equal to it is divided into two paths, that is one path will be to shunt field and another to load. So IA equal to ISH plus IL, so that we can write the expression terminal voltage V equal to EZ minus ISH plus IL into RA. Okay, and in the diagram, if we observe, dB is representing the armature reaction drop, and BC is representing the ohmic drop. Because of these two reasons only, we will get, when the generator is loaded, we will get the lesser voltage drop. This voltage drop is due to armature reaction and due to ohmic drop. Okay. And next one, in DC shunt generators, the terminal voltage can always be maintained constant by adjusting the load terminal. And when the load resistance of shunt wound DC generator is decreased, then load current of the generator increases. But what happens, the load current can be increased to a certain limit, that is up to point C, the decrease of load resistance. Once again I am repeating, when the load resistance of shunt wound DC generator is decreased, okay, then automatically the load current of the generator increases. But when the load current can be increased to a certain limit with the decrease of load resistance, And beyond this point, if we observe, there is a reversal in the characteristics. That is, any decrease of load resistance results in current reduction, and thereby the external characteristics curve turns back. That is, external characteristics curve turns back. You can observe in this diagram as the dotted line, and so that the terminal voltage becomes 0, even though if there is some voltage due to residual magnetism. These are the this is the curve showing internal characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. There is some coming to the characteristics, coming to these characteristics, external characteristics, there is some deviation when compared to other characteristics. What is that? When the load resistance of this shunt wound DC generator is decreased, then automatically load current of the generator increased, but with a certain limit, there is a decrease of load resistance, even though when the load current can be load current is increased. And after this point, that is after point C, what happens? Beyond this point, it shows a reversal in the characteristics, and any increase of load resistance results in current reduction, and thereby the external characteristics curve turns back as shown as shown in the figure, that is a dotted line, so that the terminal voltage becomes 0, even though there is some voltage due to residual magnetism. So this is how the external characteristics of DC shunt wound generator are drawn, and why we are getting a reversal in the characteristics. Now when IL is increased, then terminal voltage decreases, and after certain limit, due to heavy load current, the increased ohmic drop, the terminal voltage is reduced drastically. And next one, this drastic reduction of terminal voltage across the load results in drop in the load current, although at that time load is high or load resistance is low. That is, the drastic reduction of terminal voltage in this diagram, the drastic reduction of terminal voltage across the load, this results a drop in load current, even though at all time load is high or load resistance is low. And so that what we have when we are designing, we have to take care of that the load resistance of the machine must be maintained properly. The load resistance of the machine must be maintained properly. The point in which the machine gives maximum current output is called breakdown point. The point in which the machine gives maximum current output is called the breakdown point. We can observe in this diagram point C, that is V equal to EZ minus ISH plus IL into RA. This expression we already know. The point C is called the breakdown point. That is, the machine gives the maximum current output. That point is called the breakdown point, and after breakdown point, the characteristics reverses. Okay, the characteristics reverse because any decrease of load resistance results in current reduction, and thereby the external characteristics curve turns back. It is representing by a dotted line, and the terminal voltage becomes 0, even though there is some voltage due to residual magnetism. These are the external characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. And next let us move to series wound generator. In series wound DC generator, the field and armature are connected in series. And the curve which shows the relation between no load voltage and the field excitation current is called the magnetic or open circuit characteristics curve. And during first case is during no load, the load terminals are open circuited. And as we know, the armature and field are connected in series, and the load is also connected in series. These three are connected in series, so that they will form a closed loop. And this curve can be obtained practically by separating the field winding and exciting the DC generator by some external source, because load side it is open, but these three are forming a closed loop, but one side is open. So that these curves we can obtain practically by separating the field winding and exciting the DC generator by an external source. In this diagram, AB curve is showing the magnetic characteristics of series wound DC generator, that is magnetic or open circuit characteristics of DC generator. And the linearity of the curve will continue till the saturation of the poles. We can observe the linear characteristics we can observe. It will continue till the magnetic saturation of the poles occurs, and after that there will be no further significant change of terminal voltage of DC generator for increase of field current. And due to the residual magnetism, there will be a small initial voltage across the armature, so that the curve starts from point A. Here it is not shown. Point A, which is little way up to the origin O. Okay, so the magnetic or open circuit characteristics, the AB curve it is showing the magnetic characteristic. A should be a point should be here, that is little bit upwards in the origin O. So change that one. So AB curve it is showing the magnetic characteristics of series wound DC generator. The linearity of the curve will continue with saturation of the poles, and after that there will be no further change in the terminal voltage of DC generator for increasing field current. And due to the residual magnetism, there will be a small initial voltage across the armature, so that the curve starts from point A, which is little way up to origin O. These are the magnetic or open circuit characteristics of series wound DC generator. And next one, internal characteristics of series wound DC generator. So the internal characteristics curve gives the relation between voltage generated in the armature and the load current, that is the voltage generated in armature and the load curve. And these curves are obtained by subtracting the drop due to demagnetizing effect of armature reaction from the no load. We'll get a little a drop in the voltage because of the that is when the generator is loaded, we get some voltage drop. This is mainly due to two reasons. One is due to armature reaction drop, and second one is drop due to armature resistance. And in this series wound DC generator, we can observe armature reaction drop and drop due to armature and field resistances. Okay, and next one, So the actual generated voltage EG will be less than the no load voltage, so that the curve is slightly drooping from the open circuit characteristics curve. Here in this diagram, OC curve is showing the internal characteristics or total characteristics of the series wound DC generator. You can observe internal characteristics curves. Next one, external characteristics of series wound DC generator. So external curve, it shows the variation of terminal voltage V with the load current IL. Terminal voltage of this type of generator we can obtain by subtracting the ohmic drop due to armature resistance and series field resistance from the actually generated voltage, and we know the formula for terminal voltage V equal to EZ minus I into RA plus RSC. Terminal voltage V equal to EZ minus I into RA plus RSC. Okay. The external characteristics curve lies below the internal characteristics curve because the value of terminal voltage is less than the generated voltage, and in this figure OD curve is showing external characteristics of the series wound DC generator. Okay, this is how we will draw the external and internal characteristics of series wound generator. And if we observe the characteristics of series wound DC generator, that with increase in load, that is load is increased when load and when load current increases, the terminal voltage of the machine increases. That is, with increase in load, the terminal voltage of the machine increases, but after reaching its maximum value it starts to decrease. If we observe external characteristics, after reaching its maximum value it starts to decrease due to excessive demagnetizing effect of armature reaction. We can observe a dotted line here. So dotted portion of the characteristics gives approximately the constant current irrespective of the external load resistance. This is because if load is increased, the field current is increased, as field it is connected in series with the load. Similarly, if load is increased, armature current is increased, the armature is also series connected with load, but due to saturation there will be no further rise of magnetic field strength, hence any further increase in induced voltage. But due to increased armature current, the effect of armature reaction increases significantly, which causes significant fall in load voltage. So if load voltage falls, the load current is also decreased proportionally, because since the current is proportional to voltage as per Ohm's law. So increasing load tends to increase the load current, but decreasing the load voltage tends to decrease load current. Due to these two simultaneous effects, there will be no significant change in load current in that is a dotted portion of external characteristics. So series DC generators are called constant current DC generators. Okay, once again I am repeating, if you observe the characteristics of DC series series wound DC generator, with the increase in load, the terminal voltage of the machine increases, but after reaching its maximum value, that is breakdown value, it starts to decrease due to excessive demagnetizing effect of armature reaction. We can observe in the diagram as dotted line. This dotted line approximately gives the constant current irrespective of the external load resistance, because if load is increased, the field current is increased as field is series connected with the load. Similarly, if load is increased, armature current is increased as the armature also series connected with load. But due to saturation effect, there will be no further significance rise for magnetic field strength. Hence, any further increase in induced voltage. But due to this increased armature current, the effect of armature reaction increases significantly, which causes significant fall in load voltage. If load voltage falls, the load current also decreased proportionally, since current is proportional to voltage as by the Ohm's law. But increasing load tends to increase the load current, but decreasing load voltage tends to decrease load current. Due to these similar effect, there will be no significant change in load current. In a dotted portion of the external characteristics of series wound DC generator. So, series generators are called constant current DC generators. Okay.